Converting modular buildings to use the modular integrated landscaping system is the first thing anyone should do when starting a LEGO city. The system involves using what are called MILS plates, and there are guides out there that go really in depth on the concept, but it's actually not that complex. Like, the gist of it is that instead of just using regular base plates, you bulk them up by adding a layer of bricks and plates as an extra foundation for your modular buildings, roads, and even terrain sections. For every full 32x32 stud base plate, you'll need 8 2x3 bricks, 65 2x2 bricks, 8 1x4 Technic bricks, and 64 4x4 plates, costing roughly €25 to get brand new from LEGO themselves. And for half base plates, which are 16x32 studs, you basically just half the quantities here, which costs roughly €13 new from LEGO. One cool thing about the MILS system though is that the color of the 2x3, 2x2, and 1x4 bricks really doesn't matter at all. So you can just order whatever's cheapest for you, or if you see any of these fairly common pieces on the pick-a-brick wall, you can just scoop up as many as you can without really thinking about it. Another cool thing about this system, and LEGO in general really, is that there's no single correct way to do this. I've seen people adopt the system without using these Technic bricks, for example, where they just slide them beside each other and call it a day. Some use 2x1 Technic bricks, and some people might only use 2x2 bricks. In this guide, they use multiple 1x4 Technic bricks alongside 1x4 arched bricks even, so you really can't go wrong here. Similarly, you don't need to use 4x4 plates on the top. Like, you can use 8x8, 16x16, or even like 2x4, 2x12, or a mishmash of whatever you have if you wanted to. I like 4x4 plates though, because you get basically maximum flexibility in terms of digging trenches this way. It's easier to keep track of. The piece is fairly common, which means it could show up on pick-a-brick walls more often. It's probably cheaper than larger ones, and it's just a nice and easy 64 per base plate. And with the how out of the way, let's dive into the why here, because it seems like a lot of money and effort for basically nothing. But there are a few reasons here why I think this is a crucial starting point for a LEGO city, or even just large-scale mocks or dioramas. Firstly, these are strong. Picking up a regular modular building by its base plate is pretty uncomfortable because the base plate is made to be pretty flexible, meaning it's constantly bowing and bending as you're handling it. These sturdier bases means they don't flex as much, if at all, meaning you can pick modular buildings up one-handed pretty easily if you want to move them around. If you decide to have Technic bricks as part of your base, you can put the Technic pins into these holes instead of these ones, which makes modular adjacent buildings, like the retro bowling alley, in a way, modular compatible, giving you the ability to integrate stuff like the A-frame cabin, treehouse, botanical gardens, or like the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters into your LEGO city layout extremely easily. You can also use MILS plates for terrain sections with a proper way to connect them in modules to the buildings and each other. Otherwise, you'd have to attach them together using like overlapping plates or something, which would make reorganizing or even just moving the area way more difficult because they'd essentially be one giant singular structure. You can also easily add depth for rivers, craters, ravines, holes, basically anything that requires digging into the ground. The new-ish road plates can be used with modular buildings way easier this way too. With regular modular buildings on base plates, the roads are actually taller than the footpath, which is a problem. I saw people try to sort out this height difference by using 1x1 bar studs, or like foam sheets or something, and those do kind of work. But with the MILS system, you can just use this really popular design that turns road plates into 32x32 MILS plates. I'm not sure if anyone's come up with a design for just the 16x16 or 16x32 road plates yet. Might be something to look into, but it definitely feels more possible with the system. At a stretch, you might not even have to do MILS conversions for the road plates. You can just slot them in the gaps between buildings and the height difference looks kind of natural. In general, applying the MILS system to your modular city makes rearranging and experimenting with your layout way easier. It ensures your whole city and any surrounding landscape is built in modules as opposed to one giant, unmovable mass, which just feels like a great design philosophy for this kind of project, especially since LEGO cities are just constantly evolving, ever-changing things. In terms of my own experience with this, I had around 28 modular buildings already built by the time I got the pieces together to start converting them, so I had the fairly mammoth task of taking all of these modulars, peeling away the base plate from them, and transplanting a milled plate in its place. And now the question is, was it worth it? This whole conversion thing cost me €556 for about 4,100 pieces, as broken down in this Excel sheet. I bought all my pieces brand new from Lego.com, but you could also order these pieces used on Bricklink. I found that the parts themselves cost around a third of the price at roughly €9 per full base plate, but you could end up spending much more than that on shipping and handling to a point that the price difference isn't really that massive. And to be honest, it kind of feels worse to spend money on shipping instead of just the pieces. Worth mentioning is that Lego does do free delivery, but only on orders above €55, meaning you'd either have to bulk buy the pieces for at least 2.5 MILS plates in one go, or buy another set alongside your order to avail of that. Otherwise, you'll be spending around €12 on shipping with them too. All this is to say that that there's no real way to avoid the cost here. Like, it was always going to cost me a few €100, and it's a tough amount of money to spend on something like this. Like, there's nothing really new being added to the collection, but yeah, I think it was worth it. I think the flexibility and ease of use this offers is genuinely worth paying extra for. And if you think about it, the whole conversion cost the equivalent of maybe 2 modular buildings. So the question really becomes, would you sacrifice 2 of these buildings to bolster and improve the other 26? I think I would, honestly, and I think that investment will pay off in the future when I'm experimenting with the city and just moving them around a lot. It's also finally my first step into the whole Lego City project, which I've been about to take for like 4 years now. So spending that time and money to get that ball rolling is for sure worth it to me personally. I plan to like keep a running total cost of the whole Lego City project, so I'll update that at the end of each video. Hopefully I'll have bigger and more ambitious progress made soon. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and farewell.